Ever get hooked by one of those stories? Someone hits a wall, looks like game over, but then they just climb it and come back stronger.
That's exactly the kind of thing we're digging into today.
Yeah, we're doing a deep dive into Rong Zifeng. He's a pro basketball player, CBA, Shenzhen Marco Polo team.
Great, the Chinese Basketball Association. But honestly, even if basketball isn't your main thing, the story, it's got so much about resilience, about human connection. It's really compelling stuff.
Totally agree. And we've got some interesting material to work with, news reports, his official CBA profile, some basic background info, even his physical test records, trying to piece it all together.
Get the full picture, yeah. And the mission today, I think, is to really understand those key moments in his career, especially that brutal injury and, well, the comeback.
What can we actually learn from it, right?
Exactly. Lessons that maybe hit home for us, too.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Who is Rong Zifeng? Born 99, Zhanjiang, Guangdong. So, still pretty young in his career.
And what's really noticeable, like you said, is his Shenzhen connection. His whole journey, youth teams, right up to the pros, all in Shenzhen.
That's quite unique, isn't it? A real homegrown player.
It really is. And his early career definitely showed flashes of potential, representing Guangdong province. That's a big deal.
Like making a top state team almost.
Yeah, exactly. And then winning the national U18 championship. That signals serious talent, led right to him joining the Shenzhen first team.
Yeah, his playing style. The sources mention he was very defense-focused, maybe not lighting up the scoreboard every night.
Right. One piece from late 2023 said his stats might look, quote, unremarkable, but his actual impact. Very obvious.
But he's a point guard. You usually expect, well, offense and defense from that position, don't you?
You do. Typically, they run the offense. So his defensive focus, it might suggest, a specific strength the team really valued, or maybe a tactical thing.
Disrupting the opponent, setting the tone defensively.
Exactly. That can be just as crucial as scoring points. And if you look at his stats before the injury, there was this steady upward trend. The 23-24 season was shaping up to be his best yet, statistically speaking.
And the team was having success too, right? It wasn't just him developing in isolation. I remember reading about that 2018-2019 playoff comeback.
Oh, yeah. Against Beijing, down 0-2, came back to win 3-2. Historic stuff. Shows the kind of spirit that team had. Even back then, he was part of that.
But then, the setback. November 15th, 2023. Game against Zhanjiang.
The patellar tendon rupture, just awful.
For any athlete, but especially a guard relying on quickness and jumping.
It's one of the worst. It basically attacks the core of how they move, how they generate power. Season over, instantly.
And the future just thrown into doubt. One article mentioned his first thought was, will I ever play again?
Can you imagine the shock, the fear, facing surgery, rehab, stuff he'd never dealt with before?
Shows the mental side of pro sports, doesn't it? It's not just the physical grind.
Absolutely. He posted on social media, thanking people, expressing hope. But apparently it took a couple of weeks for him to really process it, get his head straight.
And that's where the team support really kicked in, it sounds like.
Massively. His teammates, Zhu Peng and He Xining, they were on it straight away. Helped get his surgery sorted in Beijing, November 27th, quick action.
That's crucial, getting the right medical care fast.
And it didn't stop there. He Xining suggested a rehab place in Guangzhou afterwards.
Okay.
Then another teammate, Shen Ziji, he pushed for looking overseas, thought specialized rehab abroad might be even better, connected Rong Zifeng with resources.
Which led him to?
Madrid.
Yeah, Madrid, Spain. He left December 27th, only his second time ever going abroad, and this time totally alone for this huge, high-stakes recovery process.
That takes guts, traveling alone for something so critical.
And here's a really nice detail. Before he left, He Xining gave him this. They called it an entourage, like a going abroad care package.
Oh, cool. What was in it? It's practical stuff. Spanish phone cards, adapters, extension cord, passport holder, all in a simple sports bag. Not fancy, just really thoughtful, brotherly,
That's awesome. Shows real camaraderie.
Totally. And Shen Ziji helped out too, set him up with a local Chinese guide in Madrid for translation and just general help navigating things.
So he wasn't completely adrift over there.
Right. Now, the rehab itself in Madrid sounds like it was intense. 2-3 hours of muscle recovery work every day. Grueling.
Left him with a lot of downtime, I guess.
Yeah, quite a bit. And he filled it pretty productively. Watched tons of basketball, learned photography online apparently from Henzinging again.
Huh. Multi-talented teammate.
Seems like it. He also documented his life with videos, studied English, kept himself busy. The plan was initially about 6 months in Spain.
But you got to remember the mental battle underneath all that. The fear, especially early on after surgery during that muscle rehab.
For sure. The articles mentioned family support being vital then, helping him through those really tough initial phases.
Which brings us to maybe the most touching part of the support story. The jersey.
Ah, yes. Hezin. After Rong Zifeng got injured, Hezin started carrying Ron's number 8 jersey to every single game. Home, away, didn't matter.
For how long?
20 regular season games. Every single one.
Wow. That's commitment. What does that symbolize, do you think?
It's just pure solidarity, isn't it? A constant reminder, he's still with us. He'd lay it on the bench before the game, put it away carefully afterwards. A whole ritual.
More than just a symbol then. It was an action, a routine.
And get this, before every game, Hezin would take a photo of the jersey.
No way.
Yeah, and send it to Rong Zifeng with a simple message. Hezin, preparing for the game.
Oh, man. That must have meant so much.
Rong said it himself, made him feel connected even from miles away. Said those photos were real motivation. He even joked about being surprised. Hezin hadn't lost the jersey. Apparently he's usually a bit forgetful.
Huh. That makes it even better. Sounds like he almost did forget it once.
Yeah, a near miss. But he kept the ritual going. Said he'd carry it until Rong came back. Even washed it sometimes. Just respect.
Incredible. And that return. It finally happened.
November 16th, 2024. Back on the court against Shanghai. Passed his physical test the day before.
Almost exactly 1 year after the injury.
Pretty much spot on. The team lost that game, yeah, but that wasn't the point. His return was the massive news.
Huge media attention, fans buzzing. You can imagine, given his resilience.
Absolutely. And don't forget his earlier success, like being a National Youth League champ in 2016. He'd already shown his quality.
And true to form, he was pretty humble afterwards, wasn't he? Said he needed time, needed games to get his feel back.
Yeah, but just seeing him out there in the first quarter, it must have been a lift for a Shenzhen team that was really struggling at that point.
They needed some good news. And he had the team backing him, coaches encouraging him.
And he felt like he'd been fighting alongside them the whole time, thanks to that jersey gesture, you know?
Right, that connection. His return was timely too, wasn't it? The team was having a rough season.
Yeah, 4-14 record, other injuries, problems integrating foreign players. It was tough sledding.
So his motivation, it sounds like it was really about helping the team.
Definitely. He wanted to get back to help solve those problems, and his playing time ramped up pretty quickly. By early December, he was playing around 20 minutes a game.
That's pretty significant, so soon after that kind of injury.
And he felt he was maybe 70% physically recovered by then. Enough to play with confidence, make the moves he needed to.
And then that December 3rd game. That sounded like a real statement.
Oh, yeah. Season high, 15 points, hit 4 threes. In just over 20 minutes, people were calling it a rebirth.
He even had that bright red hair, right? Chosen by a teammate.
Yeah. Another sign of the team involvement in his comeback.
And the home debut, November 27th.
Yeah.
Against Zhanjiang, the same team he got injured against.
Talk about full circle. Must have been incredibly emotional.
How did the fans react?
They went wild. Cheers, waving his jersey, posters. He said he was so grateful for their support, the messages they sent while he was out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And now he's even helping others.
Yeah, apparently other athletes recovering from bad injuries reach out to him now, and he shares his experience, offers encouragement. He's become a bit of a symbol of hope.
That's really powerful. So on court now, what is main focus? Still defense?
Seems like it, yeah. Particularly challenging the other team's foreign players, trying to limit them. He's also talked about a mindset shift.
How so?
Less worried about his own stats, more about just giving everything for the team. Sounds like he's really matured through this whole ordeal.
Makes sense. Let's quickly touch on his physical tools. The CBA lists him at 186 centimeters, 82 kilograms, point guard.
All right. And his wingspan is 192 centimeters, but the jumping numbers are pretty eye-popping.
Yeah.
Standing reach, 243 centimeters, okay? Standing jump reach, 314 centimeters. But the running jump reach, 334 centimeters.
Wow. That's serious explosiveness for his height.
Absolutely. Explains a lot about his defensive ability, his overall athleticism, helps him compete.
Definitely reinforces that defensive strength we talked about. And confirms jersey number 8, point guard. Basic info lines up.
And we should mention his honors, too. Looking through the files, it's a long list.
Consistent success, right?
Yeah, multiple U15 national titles, provincial titles, Guangdong Games champ in 2015, Youth League champ 2016, Youth League champ 2016, National Games Youth champ 2017. Even a meritorious service award from the government.
Plus U21 championship and MVP in 2019, U22 runner-up in 2022. Just constant achievement at different levels.
It really paints a picture of sustained talent and hard work throughout his career.
So, summing it all up, what a journey. Early promise, that absolute crushing injury, the long road back, fueled by, well, sheer grit and amazing team support.
And then the comeback. It really is an inspiring story. Hits all those themes we talked about: perseverance, teamwork, the human spirit.
Just incredible resilience. It definitely gives you those aha moments thinking about what's possible.
Yeah, it really does. It makes you think about overcoming obstacles in general.
And it brings us back to that quote from Rong Zifeng himself, doesn't it? Returning is not the end, but a new beginning.
Powerful words. Really frames the comeback not just as recovery, but as starting something new.
So maybe the thought to leave everyone with today is, think about your own life. Is there an obstacle, something that feels insurmountable right now? Could that, with enough perseverance, maybe with the support of others, could that actually be the starting point for a completely unexpected, meaningful new chapter?
It's definitely something worth mulling over, how setbacks can sometimes reshape our path, maybe even for the better in the long run.